Good evening, brothers and sisters, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kevin. I am an elder in Israel, and I am thankful that you take time out of your busy day to join me for scripture study. Today we are going to be working in Mosiah chapter 8, and this one is a little longer than some, but nowhere near as long as Jacob chapter 5. So if you remember in chapter 7 that Ammon came across the people of Limhi, and Ammon told him everything that had happened to the people of Zarahemla. Well, now Limhi, he's going to tell his people everything he's going to have. One second, I'm going to sneeze. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, Limhi is going to have Ammon stand before all his people and tell them everything that happened. So, let's get started. Before I start, remember to like and subscribe. When you like, it helps make it easier for other people to be able to see my videos. I want to see this channel grow and be something great. All right. So, verse 1. King Limhi had been speaking to his people, and evidently Mormon wasn't able to write everything that had to do with that he was said in this book, so we don't get the full story. It seems like a common theme in the records that we don't get the full story. If you notice in several sections that they say, "And 100th part have I not written." So it is what it is. We know that the records exist according to the prophets, so it's good enough for me, but I'd still like to see him. All right. Now Ammon, he gets up and he rehearses everything that happened from the time Zeniff left the people of Zarahemla to King Benjamin's discourse. And we see this in verse 3. He says, "And he also rehearsed unto them the last words which King Benjamin had taught them, explained them to the people of King Limhi, so that they might understand all the words which he spake." Now, after Limhi had finished, and Ammon had finished all this, Limhi excused all his people to go back to their homes. And when I read this, I was picturing Ammon and King Limhi sitting at a table talking, and you could see the torches, you could see the wooden chairs and stuff, and it was pretty nice, at least up here. And so Limhi brought some records forth of the people of people of Limhi from the time Zeniff left until this very time. And Ammon, he started reading them. Now here comes some juicy stuff. Now, the king inquired of Limhi. He says in verse 6, he says, and now as soon as Ammon had read the record, the king inquired of him to know if he could interpret languages. And Ammon told him no, that he cannot. And he said that it grieved him. He was sad because of the affliction of his people. He had sent 43 people into the wilderness to try and find Zarahemla. So this is pretty cool. But as they traveled, they actually traveled for the many spaces of many days, as it's written here, and they didn't find it. So they started to return, and traveled in a land among many waters. Now that's an interesting one. That's a geographical hint at where they were traveling had been a watery place. But he says, having discovered a land which was covered with bones of men and of beasts, and also covered with the ruins of buildings of every kind, having discovered a land which had been peopled with a people who were as numerous as the hosts of Israel. And as they had been investigating this area, they find something. Actually, they find several things. It says, for a testimony that these things they had said are true, they have brought 24 plates which are filled with engravings, and they are of pure gold. And also, they have brought breastplates which are large, and they have brass and copper, and are perfectly sound. Perfectly sound meaning they're in good shape. And they brought swords. The hilts thereof had perished. The blades were cankered with rust. And there's no one in the land that is able to interpret the language of the engravings that are on the plates. So he asks him again, canst thou read, or canst thou translate? And Ammon, being the man he is, he says, no. I say unto thee again, knowest thou of any one that can translate? From that's King Limhi. For I'm desirous that these records should be translated into our language, for perhaps they shall give us a knowledge of the remnant of this people who have been destroyed, from whence the records came, and perhaps they give us a knowledge of this very people who have been destroyed. Ammon says, I assuredly tell thee, O king, of a man that can translate the records, for he has wherewith that he can look and translate all the records that are of ancient dates. And it is a gift from God that the things are called interpreters, and no man can look in them except he be commanded, lest he should look for that he ought not, he should perish. And whosoever is commanded to look in them, the same is called a seer. Notice that's one of the terms that Joseph Smith had. He was a prophet, a translator, seer. And he said that, behold, the king of the people who are in the land of Zarahemla is the man that is commanded to do these things, and who has this high gift from God. And the king said that a seer is greater than a prophet. And Ammon said that a seer is a revelator and a prophet also. And a gift which is greater can no man have, except he should possess the power of God, which no man can. Yet a man may have great power given him from God. And that's the priesthood. We have power and authority given to us from God to exercise in behalf of him. The priesthood isn't just some club that like some of the other churches. The priesthood of God that's in the Church of Jesus Christ, it's serious. It is the power and authority by which God runs his church. And he reads, and then he says, but a seer can know of things which are past, and also of things which are to come. But them shall all things be revealed. By them shall all things be revealed. Or rather, shall secret things be made manifest, and the hidden things shall come to light, and things which are not known shall be made known by them, and also things that be made known by them which otherwise cannot be known. So that's a seer. And he said, thus God has provided a mean that man, through faith, might work mighty miracles. Therefore he becometh a great benefit to his fellow beings. And now, when Ammon had made an end of speaking these words, the king rejoiced exceedingly and gave thanks to God, saying, doubtless a great mystery is contained within these plates, and these interpreters were doubtless prepared for the purpose of unfolding all such mysteries to the children of men. And then he continues, oh, how marvelous are the works of the Lord, and how long doth he suffer with his people? Yea, and how blind and impenetrable are the understandings of the children of men. And they shall not seek wisdom, neither do they desire that she should rule over them. Now, when I first read this, I thought maybe this was a mistranslation by one of the modern churches, or by the church. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, shouldn't that be translated as he? Well, I started studying. And if you look in the footnotes, wisdom being referred to as, or wisdom had been referred to as a female or feminine noun, is common in Hebrew. And we can see this is in Proverbs 9:1. It says, wisdom hath builded her house. She has hewn her out her 7 pillars. Then again, we see in Matthew 11:19, it says, the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, behold, a man gluttonous and a winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of her children. So we have precedents. This is actually a common thing. And we'll finish with verse 21. It says, yea, they are as a wild flock which fleeth from the shepherd and scattereth, and are driven and are devoured by the beasts of the forests. So, with that, thank you for joining me. I thank you for being part of my journey as we go through the Book of Mormon. I know we are going to be finishing early, so I'm trying to come up with ideas for stories, or not for stories, for Book of Mormon content. And these won't be delivered daily as this, but there'll still be some good content. Or if you guys want, we can move on to Doctrine and Covenants. But that's still quite a ways away. We haven't even reached the crowning event of the Book of Mormon. So as we get closer, we'll look more at what we'll do and how we'll approach this. So until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful Sabbath tomorrow, and I hope that you can be able to attend church and renew your covenants with the Lord. And you guys have a wonderful evening. Get some sleep. Remember, I love you guys. I pray for you guys, and hope that your journey with Christ is as fruitful as mine has been. And I thank you, and I will see you tomorrow.